Erica Scott, Executive Director at Life Changers Inc. And with me is my co-host, Sheila Hardy, CEO and founder at Because It's Personal Inc. And we have a special guest with us today, Maria Bradfield. Hey, Maria, how are you?
I'm great. How you all?
We are doing great. We are here to talk about you. We are shining the spotlight on you because, as you know, our motto is
Where your nonprofit shines. Hey,
Thank you,
Maria.
Sheila.
Hey.
Okay, so Maria, we are excited to hear all about your nonprofit. So, what is the name of it?
It's called Caring Moms Inc.
Caring Moms Inc. Hey, that pretty much sums up a lot of what we need right now. So, what does Caring Moms Inc. do?
With Caring Moms Inc., it started out where I went and took some parenting class and got certified in from a previous job. I would do classes with moms that was out in the community, that was court ordered to do treatment.
Okay.
And so I would do parenting class with them. So, but when the pandemic hit, my job disappeared. And so in 2019, I had this, I said, well, I love this helping the moms because it just blessed my soul and the babies. I would take care of their babies and go and do parenting class with them. So when I lost my job, I just really started pursuing the Caring Moms. I had already created the nonprofit, but and it really just kicked in. I've been doing this type of work though for years, in the community, helping and finding resources and, taking care of the elderlies and, the children, activities and doing things with the children. So my daughter's like, Mama, change the name because of what you're doing. It's not, but I told her, I said, Caring Moms, it could just be, I said, I'm just going to keep it like it is because it's all moms. It's just not me. We have mothers do care. So I was just looking at the big old puzzle. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. So now when did you form your nonprofit?
2019.
Okay. And I know you said you've been doing this for years. What kind of work did you do like this before you started the nonprofit?
I worked with Cobb Douglas Community Service Board. And
okay.
They had, they got all the different mental health. They had the mothers making a change. They had fathers making a change. And they just had the many programs. And so what I would do, I would take care of the babies while the mama went to other programs that they had in the CSB. And 2 days out of the week, they would have a parenting class. And so I had to go and share. I always share it with them. I didn't tell them, I never spoke to them. It's the higher power of and just sharing with them my story. And then they would share their stories and the parenting class. And it just was it was rewarding all the way around. So I just said, you know what? This is what I want to do because I grew up, I didn't have mom and dad and a lot of the women was in the same boat. And so we just shared our experiences to try to help, each other get through the times that, we got out there and see, I share with them that, a lot of times when children grow up and they are molested and then, because I used to wonder why, I would tell them, I used to wonder why I would always was not obedient to my mom, And I said, and I'm still trying to figure it out to this day. Was it because I was molested? And is that the reason? Didn't have a mom and dad? But I don't know. I pray and ask God to show that to me. But it's just, we just helping each other, building each other back up, letting us know that we count. We are somebody. Just because we did drugs, you can't look down on us. People look down on people that I went through the program too. So let me share that. I went through the program. I've been clean since 99, 98.
Congratulations.
99, now. And so I just wanted to give back.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful, wonderful. So I know you said you share. Now, when you say you share, you were talking about when you were in the program or after when you were caring for their babies?
During the time I cared for the babies, 2 days out of the week, I would go to and have classes with the mamas.
Okay, and
And
in that class, they did a sharing of their story.
yes, parenting. It was like a parenting class where we had different topics like hope, different virtues, hope, and what was some more of them? You know, the virtues. So we would have each section we would talk about hope.
Okay.
And then we would do activities, on hope. What can we do to build up, our hope? And we would just do artwork with it. And, yes,
oh,
ma'am.
wow.
And each time I went, we did a different virtue. I'm trying to think: hope, gratitude, humbleness. It was just a bunch of different.
Hope, faith.
Yeah, faith.
Was there faith in there?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Faith.
Faith was in there. That was the number one.
Yep, faith is always there.
Yes,
faith
ma'am.
is always in there. Do you ever talk about relationships?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. We talked about with the relationships with the fathers.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. We did. A lot of them had a lot of different stories. Like I said, growing up, some parents was maybe missing, and husbands that, a lot of times if it was the mama on drugs and the husband, it was problem. If it was both on drugs, and then the court got involved. The court got involved and say, okay, defects was taking the children. They was like, no, these kids is not going to live in these homes and you guys doing drugs. So defects came in. They took their children. They told them, they gave us a choice. You can either, go to a treatment, or either we'll just, keep the children until you get it together. But they was good about making sure that the children went with the families. In some cases, if they couldn't find a family member that would, take care, volunteer to help out. But, once they went in there and did what they need to do, they got the children back. They got back into the community. And I was always one to go out and try to help find resources, clothes, because they would once they got to that stage, because they had to go through different stages. Once they got to the stage to get back in the community, now they're going and doing computer work, trying to figure out where they can get or go back to school. School was available if they wanted to go back to further their education. But the thing with it that was with the downfall was a lot of times when the relapsing got to kicking in, because when they finished the program, a lot of them they didn't have nowhere to go. And if they went back to the old playgrounds, they relapsed.
Right.
And so, but they did have some places, they did get involved with people that would help them get a place, eventually. But a lot of times, it was times that people relapsed because they had to go back to the old playgrounds. And when you dealing with drugs, you can't go back to your old playground. You have to go a different route, because it will cause relapse. And then, like, a lot of times you go through institution, jail, treatment, and then your last thing is death. You die.
Right.
You die. You don't, a lot of times, a lot of mamas didn't make it back. We had a lot of people that didn't make it back. So
That's, and you touched on a few things there, because, you talk about what people go through. That's, a lot of, what Sheila deals with her organization, because it's personal. Her nonprofit deals with the traumatic effects of, what people do go through, especially when dealing with the system. And Sheila, you want to tell her a little bit about your backstory?
Yes, of course. With our nonprofit, we deal with not just for homes, shelter, not just finding a job, but for trauma. And I think we met at Sweetwater.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sweetwater.
We met at Sweetwater, and I was the new kid on the block. And it was where I was talking mostly about the trauma, where, okay, it's, even if you can get a house or a place to stay, a permanent place to stay, and even a good job, but there are residues of the trauma that hasn't been affected. Mostly, especially people of color, we have collective trauma. We have had trauma, not so much as consciously here while we are conscious of it, but where the mother actually there was trauma in the womb.
Yes,
and the DNA, what happens with the DNA is, and I don't want to go really into that deep, but it affects us collectively. And then we're wondering why we do what we do is because that wasn't dealt with. And there are exercises that we can do that actually helps and gets us to where we can, move on. Because the body, actually, if you understand the body actually can get rid of it. But we haven't been taught that. Mm-hmm. And so with society, the way society is, our society is not a society that really wants to help. We can see that. Right. Our society is where we're constantly under stress, and our bodies is not designed to be under stress, fight, flight, mode all the time. And so what happens, especially with certain circumstances that happens with us, we are in a stressful mode and don't know how to just relax. We're just constantly, in a situation where we're just, okay, I gotta be on this mode where, I gotta be cool. Not cool, but I have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm sorry, guys. I have to make sure that, nobody is going to take my child, and I'm constantly under a stressful mode. And that just destroys the body's immune system. And so, what happens is we're looking for peace. We're looking to be happy. And a lot of times it's drugs. A lot of times it's food. A lot of times it's sex. Right. A lot of times. So we're looking for something I just need something to make me happy or to feel good. And it might be just for a little while, where what we do is we're saying, well, okay, we get it. It doesn't have to be a little while. It's where, we can show you some techniques where you can do this all the time. And that's it. That's it. So, yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I didn't mean to take all your time, but
no, that's okay. Thank you for sharing. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So even with that, if we can work together, because see, I'm all about unity. One thing about it, Erica knows I'm about, because that's where the power is.
Right. Yes,
we all have something to give, and everybody is not where, okay, Maria, she's doing this specific thing, and then, Erica's doing this specific thing, and it all actually comes together, and that's where the power is.
Right.
And once we understand the design, see, the problem for me is we don't understand our design. We don't understand why we're here. We don't understand our worth. So when we don't understand it, guess what happens? We find ourselves abusing ourselves because we don't have the tools. Like you said, we didn't have a mother or father growing up. We were molested, or there were certain things that happened, and because a child doesn't have the tools, it stays stuck.
Right.
And you find yourself getting older, 20, 25, 30, 35, but you're still at age 5.
Yes.
Mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is now you got to get that age 5 child up to par and not be stuck and be able to heal and forgive. Yes. That's a big thing. That's a big thing. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, that yes. I mean, that ties into what Maria does. So Maria, what is the number one issue that you're finding as far as your organization? What stumbling block, what hurdle are you facing on a continuous basis?
Just getting the support. I have support, but the support is not there. Like 2019, I'm still just like I just started. Started.
Okay. And, what type of support do you need?
Well, I mean, because I'm in the community, well, I have a person that's helping me trying to get grant money.
Okay.
I tried to get grant money through when the pandemic hit. When I was being honest, I've had no funds, period. It's always been like clothes donation, food donation, and yeah, there's been a few people that has helped me with gas cards because I do a lot of driving, and you see the gas
Yes.
don't gas don't
She
went to the
does.
roof, you know. But you know what? And I don't stop. I said, Lord, and He always make a way. Somebody'll be like, maybe some of the people that I serve, they'll be like, Maria, here you some gas, you know. So I always just depend on God because I know doing His will is He's going to support me.
Right.
Well,
Right.
I won't say because God support me. He always support me. I mean, never has let me down through this drama. I've experienced mental health and I still go through it every blue moon, you know, but I know God is there. So that keeps me going.
Wonderful.
You know, when I
What is,
wake up,
what is, I'm
mm-hmm,
sorry, go ahead.
I thought I was just, the support of the Lord. I get His support.
Awesome. Awesome. And amen. Amen and amen again. So describe for us a typical day in the life of Maria doing her community work.
A typical day is getting up in the mornings, thanking God for the day, and then just going out. I have some, I don't like to say clients. What did you say? I have some people that I help, some young mothers. I have some mothers that's going through, both of them don't have a parent and they kind of like struggling, and elderly people who they have family, but then things they need done, and it's just no support there. Families living in mold, and so I'm out just getting resources. I'm going to find, how we had the resources at the down in at that place. So now I'm gathering papers, taking them out into the community, and just sharing with the families that here's help. And so that's pretty much, I guess it's not nothing really just big, but that's just what I can do at this moment.
Well, everything that some people may say, oh, that's not enough, or that's just a little bit, but every little bit helps. Every bit helps.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, I understand you just went to a workshop on Saturday.
Yes, I went to the workshop and they talked about the Cobb County have money to help you get a home. And I just found out that you could be a first-time home buyer again. Like I was a first-time home buyer when Barack came in the office. You remember when he gave that $8,500 out?
Yes.
And so that was back in 2009. So someone had mentioned it to me. Can you be a home buyer a second time? They said yes. They said I could be a first-time home buyer again.
Yeah, because isn't it like after, if you haven't had your name on a property deed in 2 or 3 years, aren't you qualified for first time home buyer stuff again?
What they said, they didn't say what you just said. I didn't know that, but they said that you can be a home buyer, and done had a home and be it again, a first time home buyer.
Okay. Do you know offhand? Because I know you probably didn't think I was even going to ask about this, but I'm sure there are other people out there working with families, moms, parents, whoever, who may be interested in looking into buying a home, especially with, like Sheila and I were just talking about on another episode, last week, I believe, about how rent is just ridiculous.
Yes.
Just ridiculous. And do you remember off the top of your head how the process goes and what the qualifications are?
Yes, I gathered information. I did get flyers and stuff that they gave to us. The number one thing they was talking about is your credit score.
Okay. And what do they want it to be?
They wanted it's 620, but they would love a 640.
Okay.
And they're talking. Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, there's always a way. There's an answer for everything.
Yes,
that's how I look at everything. There's an answer. And one thing about it, and again, I was telling Erica concerning about unity. And when this is just me. I was thinking, okay, if I have a good credit score, and I wanted to help your organization, to let's say get a nice house. Let's say, I'm just saying this, I'm putting this out here. Let's say get a 5-bedroom house, one of these big houses, because I used to be in one of these big houses, and where everybody works together, and when they connect together and work together, they can actually be able to save money and be able to pay their bills and to get their credit score up, and then apply again for that, and then, move on from there. What do you think?
Yes, that's a blessing there.
Yeah.
Miss Sheila, I always have thought that way, where you came together and everybody got on their feet and then got their credit score together and was able to get that dream house. There's another program that I go through. It's called NACA. I don't know if you guys heard. I'm sure you guys know NACA. You guys been around.
NACA?
NACA is another thing I'm pursuing.
Okay. And now, are you pursuing this to get information for your people or for yourself?
Both.
Okay.
Because I share with them. When the Bible said, love thy neighbor like you love yourself. So now my thinking is, if I want for my neighbor what I want for myself.
Okay.
I want to tell them about this $1 million. If God says it's $1 million, go tell the people. I'm going to tell everybody that come in my path.
Now spell NECA for us.
NACA is a NACA.
Oh,
it's a program that don't matter. They don't matter about what score you got. They help you where you are. Mm-hmm.
Are they? I know the first one is Cobb County. Is NACA Cobb County also, or are there other places too?
NACA all over the world.
Okay.
They the one that stepped in when the housing market crashed. They stepped in and helped a lot of people to save their houses. People got their rent down to $500 and $600, where the rent might have been $2,000. So NACA is the people that help. They do a little bit different from the banks. You know how the banks charge you all of that interest, and they just boom out there. But NACA, as long as you get the information into them, like they want your W-2s, just like the same thing. The bank, they want your life history.
Right.
NACA the same way.
And your firstborn's pinky toe.
I never understood the red tape, you all, but they want everything, and so, but they don't care about your credit score.
So, okay, so NACA sounds almost like a Habitat for Humanity, no?
Mm-hmm. Close to it, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so, are you going that way to get your house?
I have my next appointment in July. So whichever one that I could that I could get, I'll just go with whoever that help me first. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you are based in Cobb County, Georgia?
Yes, ma'am. I'm down here in Austell.
Okay. And is that where you do most of your community work?
You know what, Miss Erica, I go all over. I be up in Marietta, Cobb County. I go to Mapleton. I go to Douglasville. I even go out to Cartersville. I had families out there that know people that, be in need, because I took care of some, orphan, what is it when I was able to care for some family members that wasn't able and that passed deceased, their children. So I still look out for them and help them too, because they don't have their parents, or the parents might have been on drugs, but I just go all over wherever, somebody call me and say, look, so we need some help. And I just go wherever, I'm needed.
Well, you just touched on what I was going to ask next. How do people find you?
Word of mouth, and because I've been around for a long time, and people know my story. Well, they don't exactly know the story because, they just know what I share. But
isn't that true for all of us?
Yes. People they say, oh, I know, they'll say, oh, well, she did. But no, you don't know what I had to go through to why I'm where I'm at.
Right.
And I had to go through a lot. I was a child that didn't have a father, just my mom, seeing her getting shot. She was encouraged. My mom, she said, always keep going. She was in a wheelchair. She had a stroke. She went through a whole lot of stuff. And I seen her, as a child, children see what their parents do. They follow it. And so I followed my mama, and she just was always said, keep it moving. And, when she passed and, when, COVID came out, it took mom, and It almost took me because I was in the hospital.
Mm.
And it was just, God is just good. And service is important, an important part of my faith. And we are supposed to be serving
Right.
the humanity and the people. And that, right there is where my heart is doing service and helping also myself. Cause sometimes I put me on the back burner and they be like, you can't keep putting yourself on the back burner. But sometimes I'll just go out for somebody to get them. And then, cause I know that God's going to take care of me. I always, know that God say, you do my will and I'll take care of you. And that's
Right.
stuck in my head,
Well, I have a question for you. And I know that you guys are, I'm gonna call you like I see it with Erica. She's on fire. You're on
Yes, ma'am.
fire. I get it. I'm more of the laid back watch type of
Yes,
person.
ma'am.
I don't even know how I got with Erica because she's like bam, 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 and I'm like, okay, okay. But one thing about it is, and you're right. You're on fire and everything like that, and I'm more of like, okay, but you know what? If you keep going so fast that your body will tell you to slow down, and you
Yes.
got to listen because even God had to rest.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
what I'm looking at is a support team. Are you willing to get support teams or a support team that's willing to work with you so you can do more?
Yes, ma'am. I welcome all the help that could come to me, and it's just a blessing. I was just so excited, and I was like, Lord, I have got to stop and slow down, like you say, so I can do this. A podcast, the first one I ever had. Anybody ever reached out to me and say, Maria? And it's been a few people, but yeah, it's been a few people. But the podcast, you all are the first people that reached out to me as far as the podcast, and I was like, this is the world right here to me.
Aw.
Yes,
Well, we're
thank you,
here,
thank y'all.
we're here to lift each other up and shine a spotlight on what you do because, I had never heard of you. Sheila had never heard of you before she met you. So, yeah, and of course, obviously, we can't reach all 1.5 million nonprofits in the, just in the U.S. alone. And
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
talking about going internationally. But,
Hmm.
what you do is so important that and it's needed. It's needed. I've been around nonprofits for a long time, and I've never heard of any that do what you do, how you
Yes,
do it.
yes, ma'am.
So tell me this: the other day, yeah, I told Sheila, I said, I don't know if we're gonna be able to nail her down long enough to do this. But the
Mhm,
other day, I
mhm.
called you. You had just left Must Ministries on Cobb Parkway in Marietta, and
Yes,
I'm very
ma'am.
familiar with them because I used to volunteer there back in the '90s.
Yes, ma'am.
And then when you called me back, you said later on that afternoon, you said, "Okay, well, let me give you this information because I just got a call for some sandwiches."
Yes.
What were you doing with sandwiches?
It's this other organization that they go out into the community and they get food. And it's a thing called the Sandwich Project.
Oh
And
wow,
she had got sandwiches. I've given out about maybe 2,000 or 3,000 sandwiches in like the last 4-5 months.
wow,
And she called me and said, "Look, I got sandwiches. Can you get them to the community?" I said, "I sure could. I sure can." And I got rid of all of them sandwiches. We got a
wow.
few. We just got just a few left out there we got another refrigerator we use. We got just a few out there peanut butter left. But we she called me, and anytime she called me and say, I got, I have this and this, I go. Like I had got a call for stuff for mommies, like, Kleenex, toothpaste, those homeless, the homeless loved ones that's out there, and they have these bags with all the stuff that they need, that they can use hand sanitizer and stuff as they happen to live out, on the streets. And I got about 10 bags that I was able to pick up from a friend, and they know I do this. And when they get clothes, like some of the moms be needing clothes, and they'll call me and say, "Look, we got this and this. Can you use?" And I go, and then I've just picked up like a zone. The zone is where the parents that's been out on drugs, they go and do the treatment there. They was in need of some stuff. And then remember last week, about 2-3 weeks ago, the veterans, they gave me new socks. They gave me new undershorts. They gave me new clothes that I was able to take out into the community and give to the people.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Now, are you connected with like Goodwill, and do you go there, or do they call you?
You know, Goodwill don't call me. It just be like a lot of individuals and like 3, 4, 5 nonprofit organizations that reach out to me because I just was involved with one of the organization over the weekend down at the Martin Luther King for the they had something down now, and so I went to brain freeze, but I went and helped this lady who got this other abuse, you know, when you be abused, your husband or the wife abused, and did some, she would help out with, what you call the $25 gift cards. So I
Okay.
did some, and then we came together on Zoom and talked about the abuse and how we can build ourselves back up. Cause you know, abuse is mental health big time. And I was abused. I went through it. And so, like I say, to this day, but I keep God first. And this is how I'm getting through this. Cause you know, that mental health thing, that abuse is that thing follow you, like Miss Eda was saying, the healing, you
Yeah.
know, it's a slow healing. It's not an overnight thing. And
No.
I had to stay involved and stay focused, obedient, and all of this to get to the next minute, because I look at life like this. I only got this minute that I live in. I'm sorry. This is all I got. And so I do a lot of praying because you remember, I don't know if y'all remember a long time ago when they had the program came out Scared Straight.
Yes.
And I know they don't teach fear, but mental health and fear go together. And
Yes.
if you're not in a supporting, you know, having people support you, it could get really just, oh, I be crying a lot of times. I just pray and cry and just ask God to just keep me. Cause you know, that's when you be in them lonely moments, when you alone and, you know, they tell you to stay active and, you know, keep prayer first always. And so, you know,
Always.
it helps you to get through. I don't ever think about hurting myself. You know, I did back in the days when I was on drugs. I did tell them, I said, you know, I'm tired. I'm through with this. And they put click on my arm, took me straight down to Georgia region, which was fine, you know, because it was really rough then. That's when I was on drugs and I was married. And my husband, he wasn't perfect. He was drinking. So it was like, you know, but to this day now, I got past that, you know, but like I say, it's still mental health. It takes a long time to, you know, you have to just stay prayed up with that thing because you have to just pray.
That's when you decide that you do need help, because
Mm-hmm.
I mean your life is still in shambles until you realize, okay, it you know, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. It's time to do
Mm-hmm.
something about it. But until you get to that point, that true realization, mm, I mean, you're just like a wrecking ball. Your
Mm-hmm.
life, that your loved ones' lives, your kids, you know, and it's unfortunate because we don't have the support that we need. That's why what you're doing it's so, oh my gosh, it's so near and dear to my heart, simply because a lot of what you're talking about, I can, unfortunately, I can relate to.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, my question to you is that because, you know, you're going to get that support you need, because it's already happening.
Yes.
You might not think it, but it's
Yes.
already happening.
Yes, ma'am.
Because when you ask, it shall be given. Don't doubt.
That's it. That's
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
And
Mm-hmm.
so it's already on its way because you're on this podcast.
Yes.
And the thing of it is that when you ask, it says believe that you already got it.
Yes, ma'am.
So number one, I put down grant money. You say you want $1 million. I'm putting down 2.
Yes.
and knowing God, he'll probably come with 5. Y'all don't
Yes.
think big
So,
enough.
Amen.
so what we're gonna do is we're gonna touch and agree because Erica is in that touch and agree thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, Sheila she can't change subjects. So I said, do you
She
touch and agree? Do you touch and agree?
and see, I already agree, but she say
Yeah.
you gotta say touch and agree. So
Yes.
I'm like, okay, I'm saying it touch and agree. So
Yes,
so
ma'am.
so my thing is that because we're united, because we want the same thing for everybody. We want wholeness. We want people to feel like they're whole. We're not saying that, your future, or the past, I'm sorry. We're not saying that the past didn't happen. It happened. But just like you're taking that past and you're doing something with the effects of that past, and you're taking your energy and you're helping somebody else.
Yes, ma'am.
God never told us that he was going to take anything away from us. He said, I'll be in there with you.
That's it.
Am I right?
Yes,
So anyway, I'm asking for $2 million of the grant money because that's what you need, right?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
The second thing is, the clothing. The third thing is the food, which I don't see any problem with that. Those two things, I don't even see any problem with that. That's already happening with you now.
Yes,
When you need it, I mean, if I'm wrong, you let me know. But anytime you ask for the clothing and the food, do you usually get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, there you go. Okay,
Yes.
number 4 was the gas card. When you ask for it, do you get it?
Yes, ma'am. It's been happening. It's been, people been, like, say, the people that I go and serve, they'll say, here you some money. And then, like, the lady that I helped, this other nonprofit's house, she, God, it'll come to me. But yes, she was, giving us gas, cards to, help out with the gas. So yes, ma'am.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Got you. And then, so really what you really need is a support team.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have the support team? Yes, you do.
I just, I got like the organization that called me with stuff as a support team, but not anyone that, I have a board, but, the lady that's, on my board is, she had to do some, she's in, like, had to go do some surgery. And then my daughter has started working. She was helping, but since she been working, it's been like, I'm kind of like, on my own and learning, on my own and just, doing what I do, day, what is that? Day by day? What is it? Day by day, minute by minute. And, just going, that's where I'm at.
Okay. All right. So you're needing a board. You're needing, some new people. You need some fresh and young people too, right?
Yeah. Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Because doesn't God say, write it down and make it plain?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay.
Well,
So with that being said, you got it already. Now it's the manifestation of it. And so with that being said, like I said, there's going to be people that's going to be listening to this podcast and they're going to say, how can I help? So the question is, how do they get in tune with you?
This is what I'm waiting on now with the, it was an organization that helped non-profit organization build their website. And I'm waiting on them because I don't have a website. I'm not advertising. I learned, I was listening to someone, they said, people don't know about you because you don't even advertise. Only thing you got is your, I did buy a logo back in 2019 with Caring Moms. But as for my website, I reached out to another friend who take care of elderlies, and she gave me a organization that they are building my website, but I haven't heard from them. And so that's my next goal, is to call to see where they are with the website. Cause that's important, right? To have the website. I had one, but like I said, when COVID hit and I had one and I was in the hospital for, about 2-3 weeks, I just wasn't able to do anything, so, and then, now that, I've, gotten my energy back, praise God, and I'm able to go out there and work and do his will. Just need to contact them to see where they are with that website. Okay. That's the next big goal for me, is to get that website up and running,
That's, that is super awesome. Do you know the name of the organization?
And I do. I just got to research it. I got it. I tell you, I'm gonna promise you guys, when that COVID came, that memory thing, and I'll be doing them. My Indian friends told me to eat the nuts, but that memory thing, I have to write stuff down, because if I don't,
I can't even blame it on COVID. That's just old.
I'm not even blaming it on COVID.
COVID just played a little part, right? That age, I'm 60, and I tell you, I'll be like, I have to write stuff down. I have to.
Well, and that's That's all it is. You got a lot on your plate. You're doing
That's
a lot, a lot, and to have no like real help day in and day. Sheila and I talk about it all the time. She has some people that I'm like, oh, I wish I had one of them, and I have people that she's like, well, how can I get that, So yeah, and you're doing it, by yourself. But we have, we do, and we, each episode we try to, we no, not we don't try. We do like Nike. We just do it.
Yes, ma'am.
We share resources. So, two resources that would do you really, really good, Maria, is, first, Publix. I shared this on one of our podcast, former earlier episodes.
Yes, ma'am.
Publix has what's called a community grant.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't remember how much it is, but that one, and I didn't mention it the first time I brought it up in another episode, but that one comes from one of our contacts, Kim Arnold of Journey from Within. She does not quite what you do. She feeds the homeless.
Yes, ma'am.
And does motivational speaking in the jails and business coaching and that kind of stuff. But that Publix community grant, you should have no problem, qualifying for that, because they put you through a few questions to see if you even qualify. And
Yes,
another is Walmart. Have you applied to Walmart?
And I did back in 2019. I went to Walmart, and but they just never got back with me. But
Okay.
That was 2019.
Well, let me share with you how Walmart works. Walmart themselves, they don't do it. They go through Cyber Grant, CYBERGRANT.com, and Cyber Grant has a program called Front Door, and actually that's all about to change soon. So, if you're listening to this podcast in the later part of 2022, then this may be invalid. But right now, cybergrant.com has Front Door, and you go through the qualification process. You answer some questions, a lot of questions. You upload your determination letter, your 501c3 EIN and all that. And then the great thing about it though is they are a one-stop shop. So once you have your information in, you put in your address, and you can say, okay, show me all the Walmarts, which include Sam's Club. Show me all the Walmarts within like 5 miles, 3 miles, 15 miles of my house, and it'll show the whole list, right? And you just once you've put that initial information in, you're just putting a few sentences like describing your program into each store's like database, you can say. So that's it's really, really neat. And it's for $500 to $5,000 per store. And don't quote me on this, but I believe you can get it up to 25 times per year per store.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's like $500 every 2 weeks if they feel that your program is worth it, and yours may be right up their alley. Unfortunately, Chick-fil-A's, their window just closed on May 31st, but if you have somebody helping you with grants, when you say someone's helping you with grants, they're writing them for you, or they're sourcing them, they're finding them?
Well, she like the lady that was helping me is like had to have surgery, so I'm kind of like at a little standstill there.
Gotcha.
And so I just got to I was gonna go to Miss Irene, because I know she has a lot of resources on the grant writers. Yeah. And just maybe try to get with somebody that she know. So that was another goal for this week, to go visit her to, find out who.
And yeah, Irene is actually how Sheila and I met. Yeah, I mean, I had Irene's great. That's all you can really say about Irene. She is the network queen. But let me tell you something. Another organization, I hope you have pen and paper writing this stuff down. If not, you'll have to wait until your episode airs. Another organization you really need to get tied into is Cobb Community Foundation. Have you tied in with them yet?
I never heard of the Cobb Community Foundation.
Wow. Well, that's how I know about Irene. So Miss Cat,
Oh,
yes, Miss Cat is my contact there anyway. And they also have, now the difference is Miss Cat's, services are free, whereas Irene's are not much. They're, a few bucks. But it's they both serve such a great service. I mean,
yeah.
they what they offer, it's like a database of what do you need? Board members, volunteers,
Yes.
because Miss Cat is actually the one who told me to take on community service workers. And
Oh,
that is who's doing a bang up job for me in a lot of things, that and interns, which is something else you might want to consider, community service workers and interns.
mhm. Okay.
So yeah, your help is like Sheila said, it's there. It's already there. You just haven't tapped into it yet.
Yes, ma'am. That's been my thing. I haven't tapped into, and advertise myself. And I know that, and my daughter said, Mama, you got to get out there and you got to advertise and let people know. And that's why I started getting more back involved, then my energy is back and everything.
Right.
So now I'm able to get back out in the community and meet up. Just like I always be watching when, Miss Irene put out that they having a nonprofit get together, and it just be so
Great.
wonderful that, it was just a blessing to go to Sweetwater, to be around you all, to meet, and it was some really nice people that really reached out to me, and it was a blessing. Yes.
Well, that's awesome. That is all. We are so glad to hear what you're doing out here because, like I said, it's needed and it's different. And that's the wonderful thing about these nonprofits is that you have some that do the same as others, but for the most part, there's so many different ways our communities need help, and we are all, just going at it from our perspective, what we feel needs to be done, and what people are telling us, not just what we feel, but what people
Mm-hmm.
are saying. I need clothes, I need food, I need shelter, and we all coming together, like Sheila says, unification is the key.
It's the
And
key.
as soon as we all come as one, all these needs will be met.
They'll be met. Amen.
But what I wanted to ask Miss Maria is that with my nonprofit, I'm always, or I will be, I will be asking our participants to give back.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you do that with your participants? Do you say, you know what, I would love for you to give back? And because I believe, now this is me, this is how I believe.
Yes,
I believe that once we are helped, that we can help somebody else.
yes,
And
ma'am.
that person can help somebody else. Because
Yes,
Yes.
just like with money, they call money currency. And
Yes,
you know
ma'am.
that currency moves.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so with that being said, I don't believe that anybody just wants to have a hand up, hand out. They want to have a hand up so they can give somebody else a hand up.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so that way that we won't be killing ourselves because, just like you said, I'm in your age bracket. I'm a little bit older than you. So
Yes, ma'am.
it's like I'm not killing myself. I'm not
Yes.
killing myself. I'm not doing
She
it.
has to tell me to slow down all the wait a minute, sweetie.
I'm not doing it. And especially if we're called to God,
Yes, ma'am.
there's times that we have to, just calm ourselves down and say, okay, what's next?
Yes.
And a lot of times, and again, you're able to get more information from him when you're relaxed,
Right.
when you're rested,
Yes,
and he
ma'am.
can give you more, because he's constantly talking to us. Constantly.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we're just, okay, I got to do this over here, or I got to
Yep.
get this over here, I got to
Yeah.
get it. And it's like, wait. I don't, I want you to relax for a minute and
Yes.
listen to me. And there's times that he will actually put you down for,
Yeah.
for a couple of days. It has happened to me.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
He'll put you, and you're like, why am I going? And you fighting it.
Yes, ma'am.
And then now this is what he told me. I'm not sure what he told you, but this is what he told me. He said, this is not about your works. I'm like,
Right.
uh-oh.
Right.
Uh-oh. Because a lot of times what we're doing is we're trying to heal ourselves through works.
Yeah.
Yes.
I gotta
Well,
go
just like doing drugs, doing
Yeah.
drinking, doing church. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's something behind that. And
Yeah.
so what happens is what he does is he balances us. He said, now
Mm-hmm.
wait a minute, are you doing works here? Because I didn't tell you to go over there. Oh, well, I'm talking about
Yeah.
me. I'm talking about you. So it comes down to it's all about connecting. Everything is about connecting.
Yes, ma'am.
Everything you do is about connecting to somebody else. That's what
Mm-hmm.
it's all about. Because
Amen.
we're all connected. There's only one race. That's
Yes,
the human
ma'am.
race.
It's a
There
human
is
right.
no black race. There is
Mm-hmm.
no white race. No such
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yes,
There
ma'am.
is one race, and that's the human race.
The
And what
human.
happens is that our DNA is connected. They're called markers. You can look it up on YouTube if you want to. And they're called
Nothing.
markers. And all of us, black, white, red, all that, that's not even, again, like I said, that's not even what it's all about. It's all about connecting as human beings.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the bottom line. And
Yes.
when we're not connecting like that, what happens is you have people in power. I'm sorry I got to go there, but you got
Yes,
people in
ma'am.
power that don't care about none of y'all.
None of us
I'm
sure
gonna say
don't.
y'all.
That's an amen right there. That's an amen.
Okay,
Yes.
so
It's the
it
truth.
comes down to it's like, wait a minute, we got to do better than this
Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
because we're about kingdom connection.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're about. We're about
That's it.
kingdom connection. And
Yes.
so when we're about kingdom connection, that means when you say, Miss Sheila, I need some money. Well, you know what? We're going to have, first of all, how much you need, because you need to be specific on what you need.
Yes, ma'am.
So you write it down, what you need. Well, I got the clothing and everything like that, and I got the gas card, but I need support members because, I'm overwhelmed. Okay, there you go. So write it down. How many people you need? I need about 10 people. There you
Yes,
go.
ma'am.
With how many cars? 10 cars. There you go. So it's all about we're doing the kingdom way of doing it because see, right now we have read about the kingdom, but now he's putting us in the kingdom to do
In the
something.
kingdom.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Is that it? Is that
Yes.
so? That's it. So
Yes, ma'am.
not just the website. You need business cards.
Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Not just business cards. You need somebody that's going to write grants for you to
Yes,
get
Right.
ma'am.
that. Okay. So remember all that.
Okay.
And then what you're going to do, what we hope for you to do is, we
Yes,
hope
ma'am.
for you to stay in touch with us.
Right.
Okay.
And that way we can know what's going on with you. The people,
Okay.
our listeners, are going to hear about you and they're going to say, oh, I can help Miss Maria. Or,
Right.
oh, I know somebody that can help Miss Maria.
Yes,
Getting it
ma'am.
out there, that's it.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
it. You're getting it out there. So I'm just excited for you. I'm excited that you got the people already. I'm excited that you got the money already.
Yes,
Like
ma'am.
I said, you got to write down where you're going to put this money.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Now, Maria, what
Yes.
is your to get all of this stuff done? And yes, we do believe we're thankful because we believe you've already received it, so that's in the bag. But
Yes.
as we speak and moving forward, what would you say your number one resource? Because I know there are a lot of Marias out there ripping and
Mm-hmm.
running here to there, using up a lot of gas. And what's it costing at the pump right now? $5?
Almost 4 something, 480, what, 4 something is what I've been
Right. So
stations.
now, what are you doing to try to at least consolidate your trips and make it not so expensive?
Well, and I try to just do my main day is Wednesday when I go to the church and pick up vegetables. But like I was saying, somebody might call and say, Maria, we got, like she did the other day, we got these sandwiches over here. So I just been like, people are, that I take some food to. I got 2 elderly people that always give me gas. So I just go and just, when I don't have to go, I'm still and I'm studying, the word and just, having a conversation with God and just praying and asking him to guide me to the next, because like you all was saying, we do have to take a little time for ourselves to just, cause I go, 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 go. My daughter's going to be
Right.
like, mama, and I would just go, go, go and just crash. And then, but I take time And I say, okay, I got to take time for me because I always don't just, I always put me on the back burner. I've been doing it for years, but I'm learning, I'm learning too, you know.
Because one thing about it is, and I'm sorry I'm preaching. I apologize that
No, thank you.
Erica. But one thing about it, I heard this said that when you put yourself first, because we know that, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul, and then love love your neighbor as yourself. When we put ourselves first, we are actually fulfilling what he's saying. He's saying, because you take care of you, and then you can take care of somebody else in the right way.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
where it's not stressful. And
Yes,
the thing of it is that's what's the word I'm looking for? It's more of not selfish, but self-full.
Yes, ma'am.
And you and when it talks about the cup, you heard about the cup that runneth over?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, the cup that's in that cup, the whatever's in that cup is for you. What's running over is for somebody else.
For somebody else, okay.
So please remember that.
Okay.
And is there anything that you want to leave for us to let everybody know what's going on with what you want to do after this?
Well, you all just summed it all the way up for me. It really just gave me a better, you guys gave me a better outlook on understanding, because I'm like, I understand, but, I always need help. I always need that guidance of someone to say, hey, look, let's do it this way. Cause like I said, the way I've been doing it is just like, just doing it daily. When someone need me, I'm there, and yes, ma'am, you guys summed it up.
That's why we're here, because I'm fortunate to come from a business background. I'm
Yes, ma'am.
16 years long haul trucking, and that was a company that I owned.
Yes,
So I know, but I know a lot of people go into nonprofits and have no clue.
and that's
No
me.
clue okay, how are you getting your digital stuff? How are your
Yes.
online, your PayPal, your website, your social
Yeah.
media, Instagram, YouTube, Google for nonprofit. Do you even have that? And that's why we're here to share resources, like I shared the Publix community grant. But also there is I shared on our Facebook page today Canva for nonprofits. And that gives qualified 501c3 organizations Canva Pro. And if you know Canva, that is the spot. That's the place to be. For free. Nonprofits get it for free. So that saves you, I think, about $200 a year. But that's where you make your graphics, your flyers, your graphic design. So if you may not be able to do it, but if you have someone on your team who is that graphic designer, they can go in there and make graphic designs. If you want to make the car magnet to take it to Fast Signs or wherever to get it printed, then they can do that in Canva. You see what I'm saying? The flyers. And so that's, another good resource. There are a lot of them out there, but each one teach one, reach one. I know stuff. Sheila knows stuff. You know stuff. Everybody we bring on knows stuff. But the thing is bringing all of us together to solve this unnecessary problem.
Yes, ma'am.
And we won't go too far into that, but that, that's why the CNN podcast was even created. So with that being said, how can people find Maria?
Well, I am on Facebook, and like I said, as when I get off the podcast with you guys, I will reach out to the organization that's doing the free website, and I would text the name to you guys. I just got to go research it and find it because I just ain't got it on the top of my head. And I would just see where they are, and if they're not there, then I just, like you said, I got to go to the next level is get with another lady that's got a nonprofit that know how to do all of this canvas, because she did tell me about the canvas, and just reach out to her and see if she can help me.
Okay. Well, and you know what? Don't get overwhelmed. Like Sheila said, you got to take time to You got to
Okay.
take time for you and that's why I was asking, how do you plan your days out so that you're not just like on call all the time, you
Yes,
know?
ma'am.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
that's awesome. Yeah. Anything that we can help you with, just reach out like you did, the, what was that? What was the question you emailed us? You sent in, you asked, what was that?
W-
A couple of weeks ago, you
Was it
sent
about when I was having trouble with the computer? No.
no, it was about
Oh,
where
getting help. Getting.
getting help. Where can I find? I don't even remember. I get so
Yes.
many questions. I
I
don't even
think it's like
remember.
reaching out with giving the information you all are giving me now. Because, like I say, I'm a nonprofit that don't know nothing about business, and I'm just doing what I just know. You know, I'm just
Right.
doing what I just know, and I have learned a lot from you all, and I appreciate it. Bless you all. So God bless you, because it really has helped me. Because I didn't know, I'm just
Well, and you
doing.
know what? You don't know what you don't know until you need to know it. So now you need to know it. And
Yes, ma'am.
the last question with that, the last question I'm going to ask, because you are taking in donation. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not to be a liar, but two questions. For one, do you have somebody keeping your books, doing your bookkeeping and accounting?
Nah, my daughter was, but when she got a job, she's kind of like, she's not doing it, and I'm just doing the best that I can myself, because I need to
Okay.
write. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Well, yeah, just stay on top of that because that is one of the number one reasons, not just nonprofits, but for profits go out of business is, bookkeeping not being done right. Okay. Well,
Okay.
we appreciate,
Uh-huh.
yeah. How do you want people to reach you? Not for us, for the
Oh,
listeners.
for this is 678-934-4305.
Say it one more time.
678-934-4305.
All right. Sounds great. And thank you for, coming on to the CNN podcast. Sheila, you want to take us out of here?
I can take us out of here. Thank you, listeners, for being here. And I'm Sheila Let's Connect Hardy, and with my co-host Erica I'm on Fire Scott. And we just want to thank you for listening to us. And we have some more awesome information for you. And please get in touch with Maria. If you can help her, do it. Also, I'm talking about Wayne Dyer's when he says, when you change the way you look at things, the way you look at things change. And
Amen.
we want to say, so long.
All right. As always, be awesome and be blessed.